Alright, what is up guys? So, I've been meaning to make this video for a few days now since they came out with the new tree for Apogea. And just for those of you who don't know, for maybe you're a Dark and Darker viewer or you're just clicking on this video randomly, if you don't know what Apogea is, it's kind of like a pixely hardcore MMO style game. It's based off of old school Tibia, which is like a 30-year-old game, but super fun. I have another video on it that maybe I'll link down below. And if not, just go check. I haven't posted that many videos since. That pretty much goes over the game and explains everything about it. And it's a game basically I'm super excited for. Like I said, classic MMORPG, very hardcore. Like lose experience and levels on death, PvP. You can lose your items, stuff like that. But super fun game. Highly recommend checking it out. And for the rest of you, which I'm assuming know about this game, that's why you're watching this. I'm gonna be going over the new trait tree. So for those of you who don't know, this is right here. This is the skill tree for everything. I say those who don't know. And recently they just decided to update it because there's a new playtest coming out soon. We don't have the exact date, but I would probably expect within the next 1 to 2 months max. It'll be out. We'll probably have an announcement sometime in the coming weeks. Hopefully, which again is all speculation, so maybe I'm wrong here and maybe it takes longer. But they just kind of, I don't want to say completely overhauled the tree, but they did some pretty large changes. You see here how most of these all have, three branches, like you could say, like one, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Down here, once again, 1, 2, 3. They pretty much just add an extra branch. The old one is here, which it's kind of hard to see, but you can see like how a lot of these before they only had two. So like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Like they all had two. So they basically added an extra branch. And added a bunch more perks or traits, whatever you want to call them, and they overhauled some of the previous ones, buffing some of the worst ones, nerfing some of them, just kind of like making adjustments, that sort of thing. So to get right into it, I will say some of these I'm not like super familiar with. I don't know how good they were because like I just didn't play it. Like for example, the casting ones over here, I don't know which ones of these are very good. I mean, I can read them and kind of tell, but you know, overall, I probably won't go too in depth on these just because, like I said, I don't know them. However, the rest of these, like the shield one, heavy armor, even the bow tree, I kind of understand a bit. But like most of those, I'll go pretty in depth on. But to start this off, I think I don't want to say the biggest change. However, definitely one of the larger ones starts off with the glove tree. So what it used to be was right here we had glove passion. It was while wearing gloves, you gain X amount of mana or health regen depending on the item you're holding, and it was at 5 out of 5. You gained, excuse me, you gained 10 mana or health regen, depending on the item. And I'm not sure. I think it was like the weapon that mattered for this. So like it was if you had like a staff or something, you had mana regen. If you had like I don't even know a different weapon, you had like health regen, right? Also, and then you had True Grip. While wearing gloves, attacking regenerates X mana. So just on every attack, you'd regenerate 4 mana, which is really good. Now, it is gloves always have 15 extra health regen at 5 out of 5. And keep in mind, like these scale, obviously. They always have 15 health regen. So now there's no more mana gain on this perk right here. No more mana regen. And True Grip, while wearing gloves, attacking has a 75% chance of regenerating 3 mana. So, this right here is quite large. So the thing is, okay, obviously we don't know how this scales. Because the thing is, this could be 25, 50, 75% chance of regenerating 3 mana, or it could be 75% chance of regenerating 1, 2, 3 mana, which I think the second one is probably more likely. I mean, actually, I'm honestly nice. I say that I'm really not even sure. Who knows? But this one right here, like this is kind of like a little nerf. Like it's certainly there, and for like casters, this is relevant because they had gloves on and they would go for this tree right here for a while. So they did lose out on that mana regen. But this right here specifically is a huge nerf to Rogue. If you guys don't know, the Rogue build that was most popular involved running the bow build, and you relied on True Grip to spam heal, to spam your self buffs, like the attack speed buff, which I can't remember the name of, your Conjure Arrow, all of those things. This right here is a massive nerf to that. It nerfs your damage, it nerfs your survivability, it pretty much just around the board nerfs basically everything you have. Then, follow it up, we still have True Grip, or sorry, not True Grip, we still have Unnatural Flow. Your attacks will deal 12 extra true damage. And I will say this, I am shocked that this was not changed at all. This is by far I would say like out of in terms of the value you get, you know, and for the length of time you get the value, Unnatural Flow is probably the best perk in the entire game. Like just that's it, hands down. Your level 18 power spike, and because for those of you who don't know, you get a trait point every 2 levels, and to get like let's say to get 3 out of 3 Unnatural Flow, you have to have 3 points here and 3 points here. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then 14, 16, 18. Or you go like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Basically, at level 18, that's when you get your third point into Unnatural Flow, however you decide to do it. Um, and when you hit that level 18 spike and you get 3 out of 3 Unnatural Flow, genuinely, it is stronger than hitting like these up here, like hitting, like your chase points, like at the very end. And once again, so how it works to go for these, like let's say like one with Apogea, for example, this one, to get access to these, and I think it might be these right here as well. But you can't, it's not just, oh, 1 point everything, I get straight to here. To get the ending ones, you have to go like 5 points into this one, 3 points into this one, and then 3 into this one, and then you can get them. So these outside perks, like, the ones that exist all on the very, very edge, the trace ones, the chase ones, sorry, you usually don't get until level 22 or 24, I believe. I think 1 or 2 of them is level 26, but not 100% on that one. So yeah, and that's the thing. Even with that, hitting Unnatural Flow 3 out of 3, it's still a stronger spike than basically anything else. It's such a good perk that half the classes in the game were willing to go Glove Passion, True Grip, just to get access to Unnatural Flow and completely not care about these. Like Knight, for example, your best build on Knight involved not you weren't running a glove, so you didn't get access to Glove Passion and you didn't get access to True Grip. You would put 3 points in this, 3 points in this, just to get access to Unnatural Flow. You were giving up 12 levels worth of trait points just to get Unnatural Flow. And the thing is now, this is even better because now you have access to Martial Arts, which is over here, which, like, if you look at this didn't exist before. You just had Unnatural Flow, Battle Mage 1 with Apogea, Elvish Practice, Arcane Trickster, which, yes, you still have that over here, but now you have this new branch on the right. And Martial Arts is just 4 flat attack speed. It's just, see, the thing is, obviously, I'm assuming it's like 1, 2, 4, but this is just another perk that's insanely good. So the awkward part about going Unnatural Flow before was, okay, I've invested, all my points into this. Now what do I build into, right? You didn't, like, you kind of had like an awkward area of, oh, well, if I'm running Broadsword, Dagger, okay, then I go to Life Leech here. That's pretty good. Or if I go one-handed, I go one-hand combat, and then I get hand finesse, so I can get attack speed out of this. Which, to be fair, you probably still do. Because the thing is, yes, this is like, just flat attack speed that you get. But by the time you get access to this, like I said, this is level 18. If you want to go this, it's level 20, level 22. At level 22, you are going to have around 30 ability. And for all of those out there who aren't like super familiar with the game mechanics, this game, it always rounds up. So you see, this is gain 1 attack speed for each 10 ability you have, capping at 5. So if you have 1 attack, or if you have, let's say you have 1 ability that automatically that gives you 1 attack speed, it'll round that 1 ability up to 10. If you have 11 ability, it rounds up to 20, which gives you 2 attack speed. If you have 31 ability, it rounds up and gives you 4 attack speed, right? So with just 1 point into this, as long as you're above 30 ability, you get 4 attack speed out of this. Well, sorry, that's wrong because this is I'm I'm an idiot. Hold on. Right here it is. I was looking at the wrong one. It's at the start. It's 15. My bad. That's that. Okay. Yeah, my bad. I'm an idiot. It's 15. So once you get to 31 attack speed with 1 point invested in this, you get or once you get to 31 ability, sorry, with 1 point invested into hand finesse, it gives you 3 attack speed. And then, you also have access to going into now, you have Resonant Blow, which is new, and you have Sacred Accrue and Exacted Rectitude, which I don't know how good this is going to be. This is going to be really iffy. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But the thing is, so you can put that 1 point, you get 1, because it's also a little extra damage here, because once again, this is another thing worth mentioning, because I mean, we have some of these, right? So Blade Training. This is regular swords have percent extra damage. This is just regular weapons. Regular basically just means like size 6. It's like size 6, size like 5, or I think it's just size 6. But basically just your normal one-handed ones that aren't daggers or aren't large weapons. And so the thing about this right here is you might look and be like, "Oh, I get 1% extra damage. That's nothing." Like let's say I'm only doing 30 damage, 1% is zero point 0.3, right? Once again, it always rounds up. So this is always going to be at least like 1 extra damage or something. And depending on the rounding, it could be 2, which I know sounds really stupid because like, you think like how is that 1 ever whatever. Like how is like zero point 0.3 ever going to round up to 2? It's just depending on how like the cutoff is. Like let's say you're at like 22.8 and it would round up and then the zero point 0.3 goes over and then it rounds up again. It's really weird, but that's honestly how it works. I found this out through like a lot of testing. But this could like, give you 2 extra damage and then you put 1 point at this and then you have 3 attack speed and 1 or 2 extra damage. And then, like I said, you could go into Resonant Blow, because if you're using a mace, ignoring 15 flat armor is a ton. Obviously, the scales, it's probably like 5, 10, 15, but, you get my point. But what I was saying before, back to the glove tree, is you now have access to martial arts. So you could just go into martial arts and take this, and this is just 4 free attack speed. Also, power stance. Attacking using both your hands gives you multiple stat boosts. So this is something that's interesting. One, we don't know what the stat boosts are, right? I'm assuming like we'll know whenever the thing comes out. Also, I don't know exactly what it means by attacking using both of your hands. Does like does this just mean having a weapon in both hands? Um, you know, did they add some sort of dual wielding mechanic where you attack with your main hand, you attack with your offhand, attack with your main, like kind of like think World of Warcraft, right? I think that's a good way to describe it. Like in World of Warcraft, when you're dual wielding, each of your hands, your weapons have separate swing timers. And if you were doing that, then you would activate Power Stance. Before, I don't think that existed in this game. I'm pretty sure it didn't. I'm pretty sure your offhand weapon was just like stats, and you always swung with your main hand weapon. But if you were to do this, like you get power stance, and you have both. You have like more damage here, and then you could go into this tree, and maybe it makes dual wield actually like viable. Because before, dual wield was kind of just like a meme build. Like maybe it was fine for PvP, but overall it ended up just being pretty terrible. At least when it came to like the literal like dual wielding trait that is. Anyways, going forward, Battle Mage, I don't think has been changed at all. 50 max mana into 1 extra true damage. Yep, same thing. And then one with Apogea. Mana damage is reduced in half. All spells cost 5 times more. Um, yep, it's the same thing. Yeah, these are like kind of whatever. The thing is, there was actually one of the rogues that was high on the leaderboards for our server that we played on actually went for this build, and I don't think it was better, but it certainly was an interesting build where he just went like full mana stacking. He put on like the what's the name of the armor? Let me look right here since I'm where's it at? He had on the was it this? No, he had the wizard hat. He had the burlap armor. He had the burlap armor that gives like a ton of MP. 'Cause he had that on, and then he had the where's it at? He had the not the druid cape. Wait, was there not a chest piece? Or am I looking at MP? I don't know. Or he might have had like the scale armor on too. But basically, he just had a lot of the mana stacking armor on, and what he went for was a full true damage build. Where is the trait tree again? He went for a full true damage build, and he just went for battle mage. And then if you go one with Apogea, you're like you're like all of your damage. Oh, actually no, sorry. I'm thinking of something different. There's a wizard spell that makes it so like all of the damage you take is done to your mana instead of your health bar. But yeah. So yeah, he just went for like battle mage and did like full true damage stacking, and he was doing like 20 or 30 true damage on hit. I'm pretty sure it was worse than the other build, but certainly interesting idea. And the one with Apogea, I think this is still probably I don't know. It doesn't seem good. All your spell like mana damage being reduced in half is certainly interesting, but all your spells costing 5 times more just makes it like pretty terrible. It makes it so you basically can't use spells. Elvish practices, just once again, like it's not bad, it's just not good at the point that you can get it. Like maybe this is a tree that you would build into second, but not good early on. Arcane Trickster, while using gloves, casting a timer mystic spell, has a 50% chance of blocking off physical damage for 4 seconds. Is this the same as it was before? Yep, it is. Probably not good. Yeah. The only thing I could think is well, because the thing is, it's while using gloves, so you can't even use this on like maybe you could use this on knight. I'm actually not sure. I don't remember which spells even count for like what do we have here? Let's see. Heal, haste. I'm I'm just trying to see which spells were like time and mystic. I don't even know what a mystic spell is. Yeah, see, like it's like these aren't even like you can't even really use these. All because all we have access to right now, we have Magic Wall and like Mana Shield. This is what I was talking about. It soaks incoming damage through mana for 30 seconds. When doing so, all damage is doubled. Uh, and the cooldown I think is quite long, right? Wait, is there a cooldown on this? I don't know. Pretty sure there's a cooldown on it. But yeah, like the Mystic and the time spells just aren't very good. You don't really have any that you can cast that would make this useful. Like dash, haste, and then I think it's literally just those two, right? Just magic. Like Mana Shield is basically the only one you can use with this. And maybe there's some viability here. I don't know the cooldown on Mana Shield, or if you can cast it repeatedly. But if you can, then you just cast like you cast it repeatedly and you get like immune to damage. But you know, it's awkward. I think it's because if you went into this, then realistically, this wouldn't even be viable because you wouldn't like this. Like building into this would make this like, oh, I don't plan on taking damage, so I'm fine. I don't need to use this, right? Anyways, back to the last part of the tree. Martial arts, just 4 attack speed. It's just good. It's another thing that you can go for. Unnatural flow. These kind of work hand in hand. You do true damage. You want to attack more, right? Plain and simple. Power stance. Once again, like I said, we just have to kind of figure out how this works. Could be very, very strong. Could be completely unusable. Shape of water. I'm pretty sure this used to be a thing. This used to be a perk or something, or it had a name in the game. I swear, but Shape of Water sounds familiar. Maybe I'm just wrong though. But it doubles all extra attack speed and move speed. Your mana is set to 20 and magic is set to 1. So, I don't know where this would be good at. No matter what class you are, you kind of need to cast spells. My first thought jumps to this would be good in PvP. But then my second thought jumps to in PvP, one of the most important things to do is cast haste because haste removes slows, and in PvP there are a lot of slows that if you get hit with, you kind of just die, especially on a class like Rogue. And you could be like, oh, well, you know, maybe with your extra move speed you dodge them, but even then, it's just not really good. Because one of the things about Shape of Water is this isn't even really viable unless you build. Wait, who messaged me? Okay, Majora. This isn't even really viable unless you build into something else. Like for example, like this is gonna sound stupid, right? But like this doubles all extra attack speed and move speed, and then you have another perk down here called Tunnel Vision. You gain 10 attack speed, but you can't move. And yeah, you could maybe use that. Like, what if you go for like? Hear me out here. This is funny. You go for Shape of Water, which doubles your extra attack speed, and then you go for Tunnel Vision, where you gain 10 attack speed, and then you go for Paralyzing Aura, where it doubles all your extra stats. You know, is that going to give you 40 attack speed? Like, how does that work exactly? Because it could be really really cool. You know, it's a fun thought. But in the end, we like this is going to come down to testing, and also the thing is, you wouldn't have access to this until literally like level 60. So you know, this is one of the things I would kind of like to be able to test things like this just to see. Because a big problem in my mind is so it takes so long to level in this game, you can't really like by the time you get to that level and you're testing things, they can't really go back and change it because that's going to be like months after the game has been out. Like by the time somebody hits level 60, the game will have been out for at least I would say a few months, probably 2 or 3. And then you can't really go back and make massive changes to the trait tree. And if you do, then you have to kind of like refund everybody their traits or allow them to respec for free, stuff like that, right? It's just it's kind of like a touchy area. Anyways, moving on. Two-handed grip, large weapon tree. So I still have a very big issue with this tree, and that is so like the first perk being percent damage just makes the game not feel good in my mind. I don't like that. I think percent damage on an early trait that you have access to just makes it not very good. And the reason being is when you like percent increases are always better when you have big numbers. And early game, you know, your first 10 levels, if you wanted to put all 5 points in this, you're not going to have any big numbers to percent modify. This is even more shown when you go to the one-handed tree, because the one-handed weapons have even less damage. Like, yeah, at least the two-handed ones have a bit higher base damage, but the one-handed ones have like hardly anything. So what I did recommend to them for a while was just add 2 parts of this. Like have it be like 20% extra damage or like 5 flat damage or something, right? And just make it take the higher value. So if 5 flat is more, then it gives you 5 flat. If 20% is more, it gives you 20%, that sort of thing. That way it makes it so like building into these early game doesn't feel so terrible like it does right now. Because like in the current state of the game, you pretty much like yeah, you build into these, but you build into these because you want other things. Like you never go one-handed combat because you want one-handed combat. You go it because you want hand finesse. Two-handed grip, same way. You build into this because you want to go into something else over here. You don't build it because you want it. After that, casting a spell using health regenerates 12 mana. Still super mid in my mind. Casting a blade or physical spell makes your next attack deal 14 extra true damage. I don't know if they changed this. Did they? Yeah, this is. I think this is new, right? No, 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 no. This is the same. Um, Also, I think super mid. You're not like the same. Like this has the same problem. This tree is really, really awkward, and it just is kind of like the knight problem in general of it wants you to use so many resources for not a lot of return. Like they want you to be spamming spells and you're getting like the bonuses from that, but spamming spells requires spamming potions, and if you're using your health it requires using health potions and just all of these other things that just don't feel very good. And like you get to a point where you can do it, but the only time you're doing it like reliably is when you're fighting higher or lower level mobs, or when your gear is absolutely insane and you're still fighting lower level mobs. So it just like I said, like this just like and this is another good example of what I was talking about though, right? Like this right here. The stipulation is you have to cast a blade or physical spell and your next attack deals 14 extra true damage. Or I just get unnatural flow and every single attack I do just full stop does 12 extra true damage. Like the reward, like the payoff is so massively different here. And it's like, yeah, I have the 20% extra damage from here, so that's certainly something. And I mean, I have a little bit of mana regen here, which is something. But it also is just this is unconditional damage. This is damage based on me doing something else that I have to do, right? So it's like it just doesn't feel as good to get. And then like once again, the reason you build into this, Magic Blade removes negative effects from large swords and gives them extra 10% mana leech. So this is actually funny. Um it used to be large weapons and now it's only large swords, which is really really funny because a lot of the swords, like their negatives aren't that bad, but the other weapons, like axes, for example, which we have a perk for right over here, have pretty large negatives. They usually have like a lot of like minus move speed or minus attack speed, and they would benefit from magic blade more than the swords would. So this is kind of I think it's kind of haha. Berserker being below 66% health gives you 13 extra damage. I I was kind of messing around with this and I don't know how good this is. The problem with this is it's hard to consistently stay below 66% health and not be in danger. So the only way you can really do this in my mind is if you are staying significantly below 66%. So if you heal, it doesn't bring you above the threshold. Or if you are just going in and out of it by being like 60, 70%, like that range. Or if you're able to just sit at a low enough health that the mob isn't really damaging you, so you just have free damage. But the problem with that would be then your health regen is just going to tick you over. So the consolation here would be, oh, so I just cast spells, use my health to keep me below that amount. And then the problem is, okay, so like, well, the mob isn't killing me, right? But I'm killing me, and I'm like dying to kill the mob excuse me, to kill the mob faster. And it's like, is that really worth it? Like, I'm not sure. Because like a lot of these problems or a lot of these perks and these skills only really work when you consider I'm like, I'm fighting mobs that are below my level. There's not a lot in a lot of these trees that are like, oh, I'm fighting either on level or slightly above level mobs. Because if you do that, Berserker is very, very hard to keep active in a meaningful way. It's very, very difficult. Because like 66%, like it doesn't sound, like it sounds like you have a lot of health, but it is very, very easy for something to go wrong there, or you just to not be able to heal it up in time. So like I said, this perk is certainly interesting. I actually wanted to try this on shield, like one-handed sword and shield, just because I think it is easier to stay below that threshold fighting harder mobs because you're tankier due to the fact that you have a shield. And I certainly probably will try that because 13 extra damage is like one of the biggest increases you can get, just period, out there, and it's so much. But the only problem with that is you just kind of have to go into. I mean, you have two-handed grip, which is kind of useless. But then you get steady blood flow, which actually does have some value on a one-handed sword and shield build because you can go for something like taunt, or the main one that activates this is berserk. Is it berserk? I think. It's an AOE skill, which I actually don't. I can just check over here. Is it berserk? Yeah, this one right here. It damages everything around you in a 3x3 square area. And this is one of like the big problems is like this skill just kind of sucks, right? It costs 35 HP to use. And actually, I don't know if this, I think this is doubled, right? Because it's a knight. I'm pretty sure that's how these things work. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it doesn't work that way. Uh, anyways, um, but yeah, like or yeah, no, oh, it's right. No, it's a double cost. Whenever you use HP, it doubles the cost of it. Never mind. That's how it works. Sorry. So yeah, so use 70 HP to deal 15 base damage plus 35% of your like actual damage, which is usually quite low. It's like 15 base plus 35% of like 30 or 40, which ends up being like what you're doing like 27, 30 damage to a mob that has, several hundred health. It's like, is 70 HP really worth that? Like, no, not really. Pretty much the only use that it has is to stay in, like, keep yourself in the Berserker range. But yeah, I actually do think trying like a one-handed build with that is like potentially worth it, and might work pretty well. But that's for the time for later. Core strength, attack steal extra 10% true damage that is taken from your mana pool. So this is interesting. This is very interesting. So the question here is, it says 10% extra true damage is taken from your mana pool. Is it 10%? Okay, where basically I'm asking, where does the extra 10% true damage come from? Is it however much true damage you do plus 10%? Is it the damage you would do and 10% of that is dealt as additional true damage? Is it 10% of your mana pool as true damage, right? A lot of questions here that could all technically be viable or technically all be the correct answer, but we just don't know which one it is, right? And depending on which one it is, it makes this perk either insanely strong or just kind of mid, right? Like just dealing extra 10% true damage based on your mana pool, like 10% of your mana pool is dealt as true damage on hit. Like that's a lot of damage. Like that is quite a sizable sum. If you have 100 mana, that's 100 extra, or 100, sorry, not 100 extra damage, it's 10 extra damage you deal, right? And you could also just always regenerate that with steady blood flow, you know? So for like a lot of just a ton of extra damage, right? Like that could be really, really good. I'm really curious to see how this actual works out. This could be very, very strong. I don't know though. I think is this one of the things like I don't want to talk too much about it just because fundamentally I don't know how it works. It also could be something like a combination of them. Like you do, like if I'm gonna hit for 40, I do an extra 4 true damage, and it takes 4 from my mana pool, right? Like there are a lot of ways that this could work. Then we have Unfathomable Rage, converts 2 intake damage into 1 mana, doubles the cost of all spells. So the problem with Unfathomable Rage here is the mana recovery is really good. 2 damage to 1 mana is a really, really good conversion. The problem is doubling the cost of all spells. For a class like Knight that already has a very, very low health, like our mana pool, and struggles to get mana, doubling the cost of your spells is quite bad because it gets to a point where sometimes you can't even use spells, right? And like let's say you're trying to use like Berserk, that's 140 health you have to spend now instead of 70. Or something like Taunt. Like it's very, very easy to hurt yourself with this. But it certainly is interesting. Like if you have the mana pool available, then this is fantastic. Because like I said, 2 damage into 1 mana is like that's great. And it's like one of the funny things about this that I actually like, you could literally go this entire tree right here and not even be using a two-handed weapon, and you only have 1 dead perk. Like this one is dead, yeah, but then these 4 right here are all unconditional on the weapon you use. Like you could easily do this and be using a one-handed weapon, or hell, you could use using like a bow or a staff if you're a caster, right? I mean, you wouldn't do this as a caster, but you could. Like you could. Then we have Precise Tear. Large axes have a 15% chance of dealing 5% of the target's total health as true damage. So, this is another thing I have a problem with. in the new trait tree. In the new one, and the same thing is like right up here with Resonant Blow. There are a lot of things that are once again conditional. This one, large axes. This up here, large swords. This over here, a mace. This feels really bad because, like, let's say, for example, I really want overwhelming force. While using a large weapon, attacking has a 35% chance of casting an area of effect spell around the target. Let's say I want that, but I'm using a sword. Like, let's say I went Magic Blade, and now I'm going Overwhelming Force. I have to take Precise Tear, and I have a choice of I use an axe, and I don't get the value of Magic Blade, or I have to put 3 points into something that I'm not going to get any value out of because I'm using like a sword or something, right? And I just don't like this. I would prefer these specific weapon skills to be on the end of the trait tree, so it's something I could build into. It's like, oh, I want to use axe. Like I'm going for the axes. Okay, I'll put precise tear up here and just make it better, or something, right? Or just make it 1 out of 1 and make like you could make birth revelation scale. Like you could literally swap these two right here, make this just 1 out of 1 with this, and make birth revelation not wearing any armor gives you 5, 10, 15 damage, right? Super easy like that. And I think that would be way better. Like it's actually the same way Magic Blade is. Magic Blade is on the end of the tree. So if you want this, you build into this. You don't have to. You're not building into this and giving up like with an axe and giving up something to go to something past it, right? It's like if you had a Magic Blade where Berserker is, for example, and then you wanted Core Strength. Like, oh well, if I'm not using a large sword, then I just am putting 3 points into something I don't care about. It's a little like a pet peeve of mine. I just don't really like it. And it's different, I think, for this over here because like, you could say the same thing of like, oh, I want a natural flow, but if I'm not using gloves, this is useless, right? But that's okay because this is the whole glove tree, right? Like this is the whole tree's about gloves. It makes sense that you have to use gloves. This one, it's like, yeah, this is a large weapon tree, but this isn't the large axe tree. Like I shouldn't have to only use a large axe to get access to, or I shouldn't have to like give up stats to get access to overwhelming force if I'm not using an axe, right? Just is what it is. Anyways, overwhelming force, same as before, and birth revelation. This just isn't very good. Not wearing any armor gives you 15 damage is pretty terrible. I don't know when you would ever use this. Definitely not on a melee character. You're just way too squishy and you will die instantly. Excuse me, my nose is stopped up. I mean, my nose is always stopped up, but now it's like especially stopped up because I was sick recently. Um, Stabbing preference. Daggers and knives provide 15% life leech. So actually, is this? Hold on, wait. Was this the same as before? Where's Straight True at? Uh, oh, okay. So this is interesting. So this is daggers. So that means, oh, so I guess something worth mentioning, right? So this is now daggers and knives. That means we have two different weapon types here. So we have a dagger weapon type and we have a knife weapon type. Up here we have a new weapon type of mace. Down here we have orbs and artifacts. Artifacts is a new weapon type. So that's a few new confirmed weapon types. We have artifacts, maces, and knives. And I think there may be another one, but I could be wrong on that one. I don't know. Anyways, um, yeah, that's cool. I mean, this is the classic life leech that you would always go for if you're going for the large-handed or you like broadsword knife, broadsword like dagger. You would always go for this with the healing. That's your sustain. Thorough puncture. Physical attacks ignore 20% of the target's armor. This is just kind of mid. In PvP, this is probably fine, but in PvE, like it's 20% of the target's armor. Like it's not bad, but it's also not very good. Like it's a perk. It's a perk of all time. Then you have Gaff Hack. Casting a Mystic or Time Spell has a 50% chance of boosting your attack speed by 7 for 4 seconds. Once again, the Mystic spells are pretty useless, and the only time spell that is going to be good here is Haste, I think, right? Haste is time spell, I think. Yeah. Like, Haste is good, um, but and nothing else is like a lot of these conditional ones, like the spells, like if you cast a spell, get X, or cast X type of spell, then 50, but then percent chance to do this, right? A big problem with a lot of these is there just aren't very many spells in the game that we know of. Like maybe there's new ones coming at it. I'm sure there are, but we don't know of a lot of spells yet. And because there aren't that many spells, you don't have that big of an opportunity to cast this, right? Like you're not going to be wasting your mana to cast haste fighting PvE for a 50% chance to get your attack speed. You're just going to learn the spell that increases your attack speed and you're going to cast that instead, right? Like this is the same problem. Is if you want double danger, then you kind of just have to go this, which you don't care about because it's not very good. And then double danger is using two daggers or knives doubles your item damage. So before this is kind of PvP exclusive, it was pretty terrible in PvE just because the double dagger, double knife build, or the double daggers wasn't very good. Maybe it's different with knives. We'll have to see, but yeah, still relatively similar. Then we have jagged rhythm. Attacking using a dagger has a 50% chance of dealing extra ability divided by 4 true damage. This was pretty good. Because like once you got to like if you're playing rogue, you have a ton of ability, so this was just good. This was just a ton of extra true damage, and 50% chance is pretty high. And with you using like daggers, then you have high attack speed, so you're proccing this a lot. So just a good overall solid. Luck Foreseen converts 6 ability into 1% chance of attacking twice. Very heavy scaling involved perk here. Once you get a ton of ability, this becomes really good, and you can nuke things, like absolutely like nuke them. Most of this is all like PvP stuff. Like a lot of the dagger tree is all like better for PvP than it is for PvE, which kind of makes sense, right? I mean like daggers, assassin, PvP. I don't know. You guys get it. And then Dark Blade doubles all true damage you deal, but you also receive that true damage dealt. This is basically unusable unless you have like a dedicated healer, and it's just overall not really worth it because you are going to kill yourself much faster than anything else. And the problem is for PvE, pretty much anything you are fighting has more health than you by a large amount. Like let's say mobs that like the harder tier mobs. Let's say you get to orcs, minotaurs, that sort of thing. They all have over 1,000 health, or death spiders. I think death spiders have over 1,000 health, maybe. No, 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 they don't have 1,000 health. They have like less, but still. Like as a rogue, you have like 200, 300 health maybe, and you're killing mobs that have, like I said, 600, 1,000, 1,500. Like yeah, you're double. Like you're dealing, if you're hitting for 20 true damage, you're doing 40 to them, but you're also taking 20. And if they have, 3 or 4 times more health than you, then you are just killing yourself faster than you're killing them. Obviously, you have your normal damage counted and stuff, but it's just a lot of extra damage that you are doing to yourself that just makes this really bad. And in PvP, true damage is mitigated the amount that you do. So once again, just not very good. Uh, Kind of sucks. So is what it is. Um, oh, I read the wrong thing. Where are we at? Okay, cooking side job. Knives have 10 extra mana regen. I Cool. I mean, this is interesting. Uh, Misi en place. I probably butchered that. I don't know French. Um, converts 1 attack speed into 15 extra capacity. And gourmand. Food gives 35% extra regen, but no longer gives stat boosts. I mean, I'll be honest with you, these seem terrible. I don't know what good these are. Like this is like how good these are just comes down to knives. But I don't see like this one, Mission Plus. I don't see this ever being good. I don't know why. Like I'm not investing 20 points to get that much extra cap. Like if you're taking this, like I don't know, like I don't know. I don't even like. I genuinely the only time I could ever see this is if you have a mule, right? Like literally, like this is a mule thing. Like, oh, I just have an extra character that has 1,000 cap that I give all my items to while I'm out farming that runs and sells them for me, That is the only situation I ever see this being good. And I mean, in that situation, yeah, this is fantastic. That's a ton of extra capacity, right? Like, that's a ton. Like, you put this on a knight, you give him 2, like, silver daggers, like, legendary, and he gets an extra, what is it? Like, I think it's like 8 attack speed base. Uh, and I think they get double cap. So what? It's like 240 cap or something. Like yeah, like that's a ton. Great. Any situation other than that? Nope. And Gourmand, 35% extra regen, but no stat boost is pretty bad. Well, it's iffy. Once again, like this doesn't seem like a thing that you would want on any character other than a knight, and a knight is never building this far into this. I don't think you like the stat boosts are pretty big because I'm pretty sure they buff food very, very heavily. So I don't think these stat boosts, or I don't think like the like giving up stat boosts is like a good thing. I think this isn't worth it. So yeah, interesting. Bow guidance, 6 extra attack speed, just good. Good technique, 4 extra range. It's good. What is there to say? And I think what is the new tree for this? Is the crossbow tree? Let me see. Um, yes, it is the crossbow tree. The crossbow right here. Or the well, actually wait, which one? Yeah, it's this one. Mahogany build crossbows have a 15% chance of dealing 1.5x damage. This is interesting just 15% chance of hitting insanely hard. War Hoarding, gain 1 damage for each 100 arrows in your arrow slot. I'm assuming this means arrows don't have weight. Or maybe it does. I don't know. I don't know if they changed this. I don't know if this is a lot. I don't know how many arrows you can hold, but I know if you can't hold like 500 to 1,000, this shit's ass. Hunter's Trap, staggering an enemy with cast, well, will cast slow in the target location, lose 10 attack speed. I don't like this just seems awful. Like this is pretty much crossbow exclude. So okay, the problem here with this is okay, slow is good, right? Slowing them is nice. Losing 10 attack speed is bad. And the problem with this is slowing them gonna prevent them from getting close enough to you or getting closer to you than you like than you just having the 10 attack speed and reloading and shooting them again, right? That's the question. And if the slow is better, then this could be insane. Like if you can go, like let's say you go like Hunter's Trap, Tunnel Vision, right? And you just perma stagger slow them, and that way you don't have any minus attack speed. You just have your normal attack speed, and you can just like perma keep them at range with staggering plus slow. And if you guys don't know what a stagger is, if you hit an enemy hard enough, like I don't know the actual percentage, but if you do a big enough percentage of their health bar in one hit, they get staggered, and it's just like a stun, right? Like they just like stand in place and they don't attack or anything for like a second. So if you can stagger them and keep them in place long enough, you can just kill them. This could be very very strong. If not, uh I mean, it's mid, right? And I think the rest of these are all the same, if I'm not mistaken. This is just, yeah, these are all the same. So yeah, I'm not gonna go too much over that because honestly, I just don't really give a fuck. Well protected, heavy armor tree. Heavy armor has 15 extra health. Heavy metal, heavy armor that weighs more than 35 ounces has 1 extra ability. Okay, uh, where's it at? Do this. Okay, so the thing is with this, is this a, okay, so this right here, this skill is very, very awkward. And why I say that is for those of you who don't know, whenever you upgrade armor in this game, it like the weight the weight of the armor gets reduced. So unironically, this is like sometimes it's hard to activate this if you have really good gear because your gear has been upgraded to the point that it's literally like it weighs less. Like here, I can actually like show you guys. I think. Let me see. Let me see this. Let's go like plated helmet. Right? Like here's what I mean. Right? Like at white, it weighs 35 ounces, so it would proc. I don't actually know if it would proc this. But once you get it to legendary or even green, because I mean, obviously legendary is a bit of a stretch, but if you get it to green, it weighs 28 ounces, which means it no longer gets the effect of this. And this is one of the heaviest things we have in the game right now. If I go to armor, it's like a royal armor, right? Like this is another thing. Like at white, it's 92. At legendary, it's 46. And to be fair, these are estimated. These haven't been like seen 100%, right? But it's just the point of like this perk is kind of, like I said, it's just kind of awkward. I don't know if it needs to go down more or what, but it feels really, really bad because sometimes you just can't activate it. Like, so maybe it should just be something different. Maybe it should go lower. Maybe, hell, even at 3 out of 3, it should just be heavy armor, gives 1 extra ability. I don't know. But it's not very good. I do know that. Then you have Carry Your Might, converts 100 max capacity into 1 armor, capping at 8. This scales up from 248. Pretty solid perk right here. Juggernaut removes negative effects from heavy armor and gain 5% ability for each equipped heavy armor. Fine. And then Endowed in Steel. This is a big one. They changed this. Heavy armor has 7 extra damage. All other items no longer give stats. Before, it was using both of your hands, gives you 10% lifesteal, 23 damage, 13 ability, and plus 7 attack speed. So, this is so the thing is, I don't know how good this is because it depends. It says so it's all other items no longer give stats. Does that mean all items outside of heavy armor? Does that mean, you only have the 7 extra damage from heavy armor? You don't have the stats from heavy armor? Does this work for traits and stuff? Like, it's weird. And I don't know how good this will be. On its own, I can say it's dog shit. Like, that's just a fact. On its own, it's horrible. But with one of the other perks I'm going to talk about down here, Paralyzing Aura, maybe it's useful. Okay, back where I was, the Magic Steel. Casting a timer heal spell will give a magic shield equal to 100% of your armor, capping at 100. Fine. And Blessed Plate, heavy armor, has 1 magic and 25 mana extra. So this is actually something I was thinking might be really good. Because at max rank, this is giving you, I think it's actually, I don't know the scaling anymore, but it's like 2 or 3 magic and like 50 mana or something, right? Like pretty damn good, honestly. Because this pairs well with the thing I mentioned earlier of Unfathomable Rage. Nope, not Unfathomable Rage. Core Strength. This could be a really, really good combination here. But then into the other part. Royal Marks. This is the new tree. Armor with no effects gains +8 health regen. Pretty. So once again, this we don't know exactly what this means. No effects. What I'm assuming is no effects means no mana or no health regen. I don't know if it means, I don't know what else it could mean. Maybe there's special effects on stuff now. I don't know. But to me, it means regen of any type because that is the only wording that's like this and it gives health regen on its own. So that would make sense. Matching adornments. Armor sets with similar names have 1 ability and 25 health extra. Like plate helmet, plate chest, plate legs, royal helmet, royal breastplate, royal leggings, whatever the hell they're called. That sort of thing. Pretty cool. This is like the problem with this though. This like seems very much like a later game skill. Like if you go for this early, it seems kind of bad. Just because it's hard to have like a bunch of armor. Like you don't want to be stuck using worse armor just to keep a skill active. And even early game, you don't have that much stuff like that. I don't think, right? Like this for example, like or not gloves. Sorry, I should have clicked gloves. Like early game, you normally wear like where's that? You wore like the Spangen helm and a chainmail or not chainmail, like a brass plate. Like those are the 2 things you're probably gonna have on early. That is like that. Those don't work together, right? And then boots, you're gonna have on like leather boots. You don't activate that, and that's probably what you're gonna that's probably what you're gonna wear all the way up until like level like 30. Like you won't start getting like your plated cuirass, plated helmet until around level like 30. And that feels pretty bad. Like so you just don't have any reliable way to activate matching adornments for quite a while. And you could get it realistically at level 20, but at level 20, like I said, you can't use this. But if they've added more armor and more armor sets, then I could be wrong and it could be really cool. Now, the perk I'm probably the most excited for in the game, Paralyzing Aura. It doubles all extra stats, but being damaged slows you down by a lot. So, this perk, I think, not only is going to be very, very fun, but it is also going to kill me probably a lot. Because I'm definitely going to mess around with this. So, doubles all extra stats. Immediately, I think of really fun combinations. So you double all extra stats, but being damage slows you down. My first thought was tunnel vision. You gain 10 attack speed, but you can no longer move. I don't care about moving because I'm already getting slowed down by a lot, and I could potentially get 20 attack speed from this if that works this way. Also, there are a lot of things that say extra. Regular weapons have 20% extra damage. Does that mean I get 40%? Unnatural flow. Your attacks will have 12 extra true damage. That means I do 24 true damage? You know, there are a lot of things here that obviously need to be tested. Once again, gloves have 15 extra health regen. Does that mean with the glove on I have 60 extra health regen for a night because I have double scaling? I think it's double scaling. Maybe it's 175%. Right? Shields have 20% extra defense. You know, there are a lot of things here that could work. And once again, in the same tree, extra health, 1 ability extra. Where's that over here? I just say extra here, I don't think. This right here, heavy armor, 7 extra damage for endowed in steel. 1 ability, 25 health extra. There are a lot of things that say extra that if they all work with Paralyzing Aura, this could be really, really good. At the same time, I'm just going to say this right now for myself and everybody else out there who's listening. If you take Paralyzing Aura, it is going to kill you. I don't know when. I don't know how. Actually, I do know how. You're going to get mob dumped at some point, or you're going to pull something that you didn't mean to, and you're going to die. That's just going to happen. But, and I will say this, but if we go over here to spells, Where is it at? Haste. Increase your speed by 4 for 2 minutes, also removes slow. If haste works on paralyzing aura, then you learn that. You get your, where's it at? You get your 4 magic and 45 mana, or whatever it is, and you keep your haste ready. Because if it removes the slow, then Paralyzing Aura is the most broken perk or trait in the entire game, and you absolutely will build it. This every single like character in the game would probably take this, quite frankly, because that shit's OP. Doubling all your extra stats is a lot of extra stats. And like I said, it also just depends what they mean by extra stats. Because if it specifically is only the items that say like extra damage, extra true damage, that sort of thing, or if it's just extra as in stuff I'm getting from food or buffs or traits and not that's coming from like, gear I have equipped, that sort of thing, then it's just insanely valuable, right? Just crazy. Because once again, like I said, another thing, like over here, 13 extra damage, 14 extra true damage. Is there anything else over here? Yeah, 10% extra true damage. This is just one of those things that's going to have to get tested. And if it works the way I think it does, like I said, this shit's just broken, right? This shit is so broken. Like, it's so broken. Oh my god. So broken. Also, over here, another thing, like Merc colors, armor with negative effects have 4 ability extra. That could literally, like, if you have 4 pieces of a negative effect, that literally could be fucking 8 ability per piece of armor. You could be getting 32 ability just because of paralyzing aura. Like it sounds so fun. Um anyways, moving on from that because I'm like, trust me, the moment I hit level what is it? It's 10, 16, 22, 24, 26 or no. Yeah. The moment I hit level 26, I am in paralyzing aura. Trust and believe that. Anyways, block efficacy, same before. Rooted guard, same as before. Um, Royal Shield, same as before. Deflect, same as before. And Monster Candy, same as before. Hex Parry and Bulwark Leap, both the same, I believe. And then the new tree, we have Swing Maneuver, Small Shield to give 4 attack speed. Guard Training, not moving for 1.5 seconds after successfully blocking an attack will cast Heal. And Scared Juggler, you no longer suffer from double shield penalty, but all healing you receive is cut in half. Uh, so Guard Training is fine, I think. This is kind of iffy. There will be times where, like, once again, this is another one of those skills that if you are fighting lower leveled mobs, it's just better. But at the same time, if you're fighting like, if you are fighting mobs that you are blocking consistently, you don't need the heal, right? Because if you are blocking them enough for this to be proccing, then your natural health regen is going to be healing you. And this just won't matter. Like, you don't need the heal because you're already healing from health regen and they're not doing any damage to you. If you're fighting mobs that are doing damage to you that you need to heal from, you're not blocking them, so therefore you're not casting heal. Maybe you block once, every 10 seconds or every 10 attacks or something like that. Because, like, yeah, even on higher level mobs, they'll low roll and they'll, like, block occasionally. It just doesn't seem that good. And if you consider, oh, well, I go Scared Juggler with it, I have double shield, I'm even tankier. Well, yeah, but then all your healing is, then you have 50% anti-heal active. So you don't, like, then your heal isn't as good. It's not as valuable, right? Like, it's like, this is the exact same problem I have with Rooted Guard. It's like, okay, blocking an attack regenerates 5 health. That's nice. But if I'm blocking an attack, what do I need to heal for, right? I blocked the attack. I didn't take damage. I don't need to heal. That sort of thing. You could also say, like, if this works with the defense stuff right here, like the defense spells, like, then maybe it's good. But for the most part, you don't like standing still because then you usually get hit by abilities which do a ton of damage to you, right? So I just don't really see guard training being like that valuable. Maybe it's good. Like if you're going a full tank build, you'll probably take it just because you don't have much else at high enough level. But overall, not that good. Swing maneuver, however, I think this is pretty strong. Small shields give +4 attack speed. That's just stats, right? Like, it's just good. I'm assuming this is probably like 1, 2, 4. But once again, this is fine. I will say one of the big problems with building into this tree was you don't really like if you wanted anything offensive, you didn't really have anything to take. And I will say Rooted Guard, like I still personally probably will not build much into this tree. I will say this. If you are a knight player and you have a shield, always, always take 1 point and block efficacy. Always. Just 100%. You do it. Trust me. It is just it like as an individual point that you can put in, not counting like as a one out of five, 1 out of 3, 1 out of whatever. This is probably the most value you can get out of that because it will give you like 2 to 3 defense. Don't ask me why. It just works that way. That's the rounding. I don't know. I tested this in game and I saw my defense go from like 21 to like 24 when I put a point into it. And getting an extra 2 to 3 defense for 1 point is crazy. Well, because I guess if you're a knight, that is at least because like the knight rounding and the rounding and the rounding rounds up, all that good stuff. But this is super valuable. Always put 1 point into this. The problem after that was going rooted guard sucks because unless you're going full tank build, you don't ever build any of these. Hex parry and bulwark leap are super mid for what they exist. Like hex parry is basically useless for you, and bulwark leap once again kind of the same thing. Swing maneuver now is actually you have some viable extra option. Like swing maneuver and guard training, like these are somewhat viable. Scared juggler, you're probably not building into this, but swing maneuver is certainly interesting. Anyways, I'll probably go over. Actually, I haven't even went over the one-handed tree yet, so I'll probably like glaze over these two like really fast. Glaze? Yeah, I'm gonna glaze over them. Mostly like I mean light armors for extra mana, whatever. 10 free capacity and a 1 move speed, capping at 3. Really, really strong perk. Not wearing a helmet gives you 3 move speed. Once again, another very, very strong perk. And then battle boots, 1 move speed into 1% chance of dealing 1.5x damage. There is certainly an argument to be made where you could combine battle boots with the crossbow skill over here, the mahogany build, and just try to like do like an insane amount of damage. Same with like the hunter strap, and to try to like insta kill mobs. If you get the proc, could be very, very strong. Other than that, new tree, we have Merc colors, armors with negative effects at 4 ability extra, which I mentioned a second ago. Pretty solid overall. A lot of armor will have negative effects. And one of the big problems with the light armor tree was building into the light armor tree felt bad because this was all like caster stuff. And if you weren't playing a caster, you didn't really want to build into this tree. Unlike, because like just building and getting move speed is fine, but it doesn't really give you any combat prowess or anything, right? It was just running around the map, which is, certainly does help because that's a lot of the time you spend on this game. Now you have a chance of actually getting stuff. Quicken mismatch. Taking damage is a 25% chance of casting Surge. I don't know what Surge is. Surge on here? No. Surge is a new spell. Okay, I think. Um, so cool. That's a new spell. Don't know what Surge is, though. Mask of El Gifu. Gain 1 point in all stats, but you're forced to wear a Jester outfit. I mean, in terms of downside, it's not really a bad one, right? Like assuming that it's like assuming the Jester outfit's just a costume. I imagine a lot of people have built this just to be a clown, right? And 1 point in all stats certainly is fine. It certainly is. And the ones before this are all good. Like this is fine if you wear light armor. Lightfoot is obviously very, very good. Merc colors is very good. Quicken mismatch. I don't know what Surge is. It depends. Like it depends what Surge is, whether or not this is good. And then, like I said, Mask of Ogifu, it's fine. Um, this right here, I don't even know what's even new here. Let me look really quick. Uh, Staff Mastery. It's Gallop's Fall, Sacred Stick. Okay. Wizard Studies, wands have a 30% chance of attacking twice. Cool. Converts all extra move speed into 2 magic. Um, that that seems awful. That seems like terrible. Wait, that seems like really bad. All of your extra move speed gets converted into 2 magic? Like 2 magic's like nothing. That's literally 1 point. Like, okay. Like I would go as far as say this is so bad that you wouldn't even go friend of Apogea. Wait, one with Apogea. Okay. Like it doesn't even matter how good this is. I don't think you would ever build this because if it is like if it's unconditional, like all of your move speed, no matter how much extra you have, gets converted into 2 magic, then this is just terrible. If it's 1 to 2, like 1 extra move speed equals 2 magic, that's OP. Which I mean, but it's like I guess we're on like the two sides of it. But this is terrible because you're pretty much all like you're gonna get extra move speed. You're gonna go like this. You're gonna go for this thing, and you're gonna have like haste and stuff. This is just awful. Like 3 move speed is infinitely more value than 2 magic because 3 move speed is like 10% move speed increase. 2 magic is fucking like nothing. That's like what like not even like 5% when you get like a high when you get to like a higher level. Yeah, it's like horrible. I think. And Earth spells are I don't even know what Earth spells we have, but I know there's a couple, but yeah. All right, now we have the healing tree. Um, we have magic collector. Orbs and artifacts have 4 extra magic. That's good. That's a lot of extra magic. Vessel of vigor. Holding an artifact increases all stats by 15%. Seems fine. Once okay, so these two right here, interesting. And we have pure legacy. Gain 10 points in all stats, but they are capped at a maximum of 30. All right, right here. Where's it at? Nope. Can I see like the okay, whatever this works. Wait, can I not like level up? Level, let's do like okay, level like 2. All right, right here. So actually, this is probably gonna be really hard for you guys to see. Zoom in if you got to, because I'm not doing it because I'm lazy. So the 10 points in all stats, but they're capped at a maximum of 30. So there are a couple ways you could look at this. It could be 10 points in every stat, which is like, move speed, ability, attack speed, HP regen, mana regen, range, armor, defense, yada yada, everything. It could be 10 point in stats that you can increase on level up, which is what I'm showing here, which is health, mana, magic, ability, HP regen, mana regen, capacity, right? If it's 10 points in just the level up stats and not all stats like attack speed, range, everything that shows on your stats page, then it depends. What does a maximum of 30 mean, right? Is it you can only level it up to 30? Like, or can I only put 30 points in it total, right? So like if I were to hit like okay, where's actually let's go like level like where's it like the 30. So the problem with this, like let's say like magic, where's magic at? Actually, okay. Yeah, so at level 30, like I already have 30 points into this, right? So, you know, if I can only put a total of 30 points into this, one, also, does the 10 points in all stats go above the cap? Right? So, like, will I effectively have 40? But if I'm building into a healing tree, because once again, this is 4 extra magic and this is 15% all stats, these both increase my stats. So if I'm being a full healer, why would I want all of my stats to be balanced? Like, why would I want to like have to point points into ability because I have nothing else, right? Like, why would I also want 30 ability? Why would I want 30 health regen or whatever it is? Like this or 27. Like this, like these aren't useful stats to me. All I care about is mana, magic, health, and mana regen. I don't care about any of the other stats. So capping all of my stats at 30 just seems awful. Capping my stats at 30 for any class seems awful. Like even if you could get this like without having all these useless things, by the time you're level 20 to 30, this right here is completely left behind in the dust because every class is going to have oh, I guess this is actually one second mage, my bad. Uh yeah, with stats show okay, yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, no. So also, so here, like, yeah, like by the time I'm level 30, like I already have 60 magic on mage. Like I don't care about 10 points anymore, and but I do care about getting capped at 30. Like that just seems awful. Unless there's something into this I'm just not understanding, which maybe there could be, but it seems really really bad. All right, lastly, we have the sword tree. One in combat, same hand finesse, same very good. Uh, Fencing classes, I think these are pure owners. I think these are all the same. Blade spells are stronger. Oh no, okay. This one is blade spells cost 15% less mana, which is just a buff. It used to be X% stronger. Less mana is always very very good. This just makes it more accessible, more usable. While holding one sword of size 6 and no shield, reduce the cooldown of blade spells by 50%. Same way. And then blade spells cost 50% less mana, lose the ability to auto attack, additionally converts 2 attack speed into 1 damage. Same thing as before. So, okay, the problem with this before wasn't that they were necessarily bad. I mean, blade prowess is pretty bad. But the problem with like Highlander wasn't that they were bad. The problem was you just don't have that many blade spells. Like if we go here and we look at the spells in the game and we look for blade, we have Berserk, Fierce Thrust, and that's all. Like that's it. We have Berserk and we have Fierce Thrust. Wait, I can cast this with health. You wait. This says you can cast this with health, but I swear you can't. Anyways, like that's all. Like I have 2 spells that I can cast and I can't auto attack at all. Like that's pretty bad, right? It's just pretty terrible. Um, with that being said, there certainly could be a build where you go like, excuse me, you could go like where was it at? You could go tunnel vision which gains 10 extra attack speed, but you can only move while targeting an enemy. So the thing about this is specifically targeting an enemy, right? But if you're casting spells, you don't have to target them. Oh my god, that's so annoying. You don't have to target them. There we go. You can cast like Berserk is just an AoE you cast around you. You don't have to target to hit that. And Fierce Thrust is something you cast like it's a line in front of you. You don't have to be targeting them to hit them with those spells. So you get 10 extra attack speed, and that just converts that's 5 extra damage you get for free. Are you gonna build into that? Nah, probably not, because you're better. You could just go Berserk and it's just way more valuable. But hey, it's certainly an idea. Then you have dual wielding, size 6 regular weapons have an equip size of 5, you do 30% less damage, same way. And 2B Ninja, attacking is a 35% chance of boosting your move speed by 10 for 4 seconds. I think these are both the exact same. Yep, same way. And then the new one, Resonant Blow, attacking a target with a mace ignores 15 flat armor, which if you have a mace, this is insane. If you don't have a mace, this kind of sucks because these next two are really fucking good. Sacred Accrue, after attacking, waiting 1.5 seconds will enable extra 25 true damage on your next attack. So, two things. One, if this works, okay, if this works like I attack, I wait 1.5 seconds, I hit and I deal 25 true damage, I wait 1.5 seconds, I hit and I deal 25 true damage, this is insane. This is insanely OP. For like Knight, at least. If this works like attack, wait, attack true damage, normal attack, you know, wait, therefore like in between the true like do you do the true damage, you have to do a normal attack and then wait. Like the true damage attack doesn't count for the attacking part and then waiting. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, that's a little confusing. But basically, if you can proc this on every single hit, this is just insane. Because 1.5 seconds really isn't that long to wait. You don't really like that's only slightly longer than your normal attack speed if you don't have like because the thing is you just can avoid building like a lot of attack speed and go for this and just have a ton of damage and you don't have to really have to worry about it. Right? This just is a ton of free damage. It's crazy. And then Exacted Rectitude, empowered attacks will also cast Holy on the target's location, but you can no longer deal killing blows. Okay, somebody said Holy was a spell in the game. I actually don't know what it is. Holy. Cast a single square area spell that damages enemies and heals players. It's 25 base damage plus 25 magic. That's cool. So the problem with this is you can only deal killing blows. If you can find some way to get around that as a solo player, then this is insane. If you're playing as a duo, then obviously, you could take this. And I know they mentioned adding summon, so maybe if you can make a summon that can like last hit the mobs for you or something like that, I don't know. But if you can get around the no longer dealing killing blows as a solo player, then this shit's OP. Obviously, it's just incredibly OP. But yeah, that's it. That's the whole tree that I went over. Mostly, I think I might probably skip some things, but I don't really care. It's been an hour and 7 minutes. This is why, bro. This is why I haven't made this video yet, because I knew it'd take forever. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna tap out now. I'll catch y'all later. Peace, peace.